May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Are you guys feeling bullish about PulseChain? You should be. Hope you guys are going to have a lot of fun today. Look at the title. What's the title? PulseChain since Q1 2011. Let me know in the chat there what I'm talking about. And of course, we're going to do the weekly market review today. We've got bullish news coming up, of course, for the SEC news. Pretty much the end of the 7th. At midnight, I think it is. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty exciting. So big news. The market, PulseChain looks like it's rallying already. So kind of cool. Yeah, PulseChain since Q1 2011. Let me know in the chat what I'm teasing there. Let us know. And we've got Brian, our awesome moderator in the house there from good old America, USA. Big shout out there. Nice little US shield there as well. We've got Hedgehog as well. Woohoo! Good to see you, Hedgehog. Hope you're doing well. Keep safe and keep well. All right, get in the chat there, folks. And don't forget to share the show on X. There it is, right there. Very helpful. So we're going to do a bridge update today. We're going to look at the markets, obviously. And, of course, Bitcoin moving up as well. Bitcoin is moving on the way up. So kind of cool. Wookie is feeling hungry about PulseChain, Super. You mean you're munching? You're munching away? Yeah. PulseChain looking very good today. We're going to get into it all today. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. I did manage just in time to get the bridge data updated. So we're going to definitely have the bridge. So look forward to that. Hey, thanks, Brian, for reposting that. Appreciate that on X straight away there. That's, people are pretty cool out there. But yeah, we're going to get into a lot of cool stuff. What else? The market's just nonstop bullishness, man. We're in the golden age of America, and from the Monday the 1st, we're going to see massive capital investments announcements start to happen, as well as trade deals coming up, leading in on Monday as well. So it's just bullish everywhere around. I mean, I cannot say it enough. We are going to get the holy grail of economies coming up in the United States, and that's going to bode well for money printing, interest rate cuts, pressures on for power to cut rates in September and, of course, December. And, of course, they're probably going to be bigger than people expect if he does the right thing, because, interest rates are way high. 4.5% should probably be down at least to 2.5%, maybe even 2% there. So we'll see. Some people will say 1.5, but, I'll go for the 2, the 1-for-1 ratio. That sounds pretty good. My haircut's starting to look like I'm starting to look like the 80s again, back in the 80s. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. What is Wookie not feeling hungry about? He wants more PulseChain goodies. He senses it. TJ says, keep accumulating. Our time is coming. That's true, TJ. That is true. And great observation there. Was it you on Liquid Loans making the great observation? So big shout out to TJ. I think it was TJ. Let me know in the chat there. I think it was you. Anyway, we're going to get into it without further ado. Let's get into some of the news. What else? Let's have a look through a few things first. All right, let's actually get into that, because that's actually probably not too bad. I might pull this up as well. I'm just trying to catch up a little bit myself, but we're going to push that over to where we're going to push that. We're going to push that over to PulseChain, I guess. PulseChain. Let's get into the crypto markets without further ado. I'm really, taking my time here. That's right, says TJ. Yeah, TJ, you're onto it. I don't know what they were talking about, TJ. I don't know what Liquid Loans are talking about. Whoever's running that account. All right. Anyway, so let's go. Let's get into it. I just thought it was surprising, that I'm the only significantly large PulseChain influencer out there, and I'm the only one doing daily shows consistently, and it wasn't even on the list. I mean, it's a bit bizarre, isn't it? A bit bizarre. All right, so CoinGecko. What do we got here at the moment? We've got the market cap at 3.449 trillion. down 2.1%, but that's because it's based on 17,586 coins. But we do have Bitcoin on the move at 1% at the moment, just teasing us because it's getting ready. It's winding up for that next big move. $109,146, looking pretty good. Ethereum at the moment up 2.2%. And let's go big screen, shall we? We often go big screen, don't we? Let's go big screen for the crypto markets. So we've got Ethereum there, up 2.2%, $2,570. We've got XRP at up 2.5% at $2.27. We've got BNB up 1%, $663 at number 5. Solana number 6 up 3%, $152. Number 8 is Tron at 1.5% at 28.7 cents. And Doge there making number 9 is up 4.7. So a big move for Doge overnight at 17.2 cents. And then number 10, of course, is Lido. So that is where we are at the moment in the top 10. Best performer, of course, is a Doge up 4.7%. Pretty nice move. Best performer over the week, since we are doing a weekly update as well, is Tron. Tron is up 4.1%. So that is the biggest mover, excuse me, over the week that we've just had. Now, moving to the top 100, best performer is Bonk, up 45%. Second is Pudgy Penguins, up 12%. We have seen the meme coins, the high-ranking meme coins do quite well in the last week. XDC Network is also up here. It's up 6.6%, taking a spot at number 3. And then we've got Celestia, which is ranked at number 88. So, we've got some of the high movers, actually some of the top movers. So, isn't that interesting? 61, 95, 91, 88 positions. And that's up 5%. And then Tron sitting as the best out of the top 10 in the top 5, up 4% there. So not bad moves right there. All right, let's get into the top gainers. We've got Icon up 17%, Supra up 22%, and AGI Alpha. So I guess that's general intelligence there, AI general intelligence, I guess. Alpha Agent up 21%. So there's another one of those AI coins. Let's have a quick look at Icon. We're going to quickly have a look at these. This is kind of a new part of our show. These are top 1,000 coins, right? So ranked at number 930 is Icon, and you can see hasn't been around very long, 15th of May. And so it's just rallied from, quarter of a penny, and it's now at 2.9 cents. So a nice little gain there, up 3,600% in 30 days, 2,000% in 14 days, and 470% in the last week, up 17% today. Not bad. Let's have a quick look at the website, and it's called Let's Bonk. Well, there we go. So that is taken off there. So Icon looks like some sort of meme coin from the looks of it. Looks like some sort of meme coin. So that is cool. What chain's it on? It's on Solana. So there we go. And it's ranked 930. All right. What else is moving? Supra. It's up 25%. Let's have a look at that. It's ranked at number 808. And it is on, what chain is that? Just trying to think. If anyone can recognize that, I'm not quite sure myself off the top of my head. But that is on another chain. Let's see what else there. It's on Super Ecosystem, it says. Okay, it's on its own network, maybe. We got 1 point. What are we saying? We're saying it started off in 27th of November last year. It's just had a down coin, down all the time, and it's just come off a quarter, 0.2 of a penny, and just having a little rise today. But it's trending, but it's down 82%. So maybe the big rug pull or something happening on there. Not sure. It's the first chain built on automatic DeFi or AutoFi, novel self-operating automated financial system built on layer 1 blockchain. So something dramatic has gone on there. That is 808. So I don't know why that's showing up as 25%. But anyway, let's go to AGI. We'll move on from Supra. So sitting at number 878, AGI, up 1,200% today. Man, this thing must have had some pretty good news or something. But it was been around since when? Since 31st of January this year. Came off 1,300th of a penny and is now at 3.3 cents. So a nice little gainer there. AGI Alpha Agent is being developed using cutting-edge approach of artificial general intelligence within the Web3 ecosystem, guided by the following formula. Leverages decentralized identifiers and Ethereum name service for security assets and identity management. I think we saw this the other day, didn't we? Yeah, because it might already pumped right the other day. So this is up pretty nicely there. So maybe something worth checking out. Obviously, I wouldn't be buying the top of that, but just an interesting project possibly. So that's pretty much it on the top gainers trending. Toncoin with Telegram, and of course Telegram, they're making, I think, a big deal, was it, with the UAE? around 10-year visas or something like that. You know, and so yeah, pretty big deal there. Telegram Toncoin has been performing very well over the last couple of weeks in particular. So yeah, not too bad. Let's have a look at the chart, see what that looks like for Toncoin. Yeah, so not doing too much to the price from the looks of it, but it has been in our trendings for weeks now. But down 62% today in 1 year. So that's the 1 year, but up 3.6% at the moment. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not sure why that didn't really boom on that news, but it was good news nevertheless. Bonkcoin up 15%, also trending, and Mori coin there also up 12%. They're trending. All right, so total market cap 3.449 trillion, down 2.1%. But the most important thing, Bitcoin is on the move, 0.9%. Up $109,000, and it's probably just winding up for their next move. Obviously, a lot of people expecting a big squeeze for the Ethereum, all the shorts on Ethereum, and so we may see a very magnificent move on Ethereum. And of course, coming up in the mid July, we've got Crypto Week, right? Which we're going to have the Genius Act, as well as the Clarity Act. So Genius Act around stablecoins. This is going to be a mega boom. I don't think people, the markets, quite realize what's happening with this Genius Act. I keep saying Genius Act, but it's going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be crazy. The Genius Act, potentially Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, talking about $2 trillion in treasuries, just in his view at the moment. And that's massive, right? Because if you think of Ethereum, you got Circle on Ethereum, right, with stable coins, and it's regulated as well. They also have relative transparency, and they back it with US treasuries, right? So it's a boom for US treasuries. And this is decentralized, right? Stablecoin backed by US treasuries rather than a CBDC, a centralized currency. So this is massive, guys. And that means that's why we're probably seeing some good moves by some of the foundations like the Trump Liberty Foundation, all that sort of stuff, buying Ethereum because it's going to be a mega move for that, right? Mega move for that trillions of dollars of stablecoins backed by US treasuries. This is huge. I cannot say it enough. That's why I'm saying it so many times. It's going to be a really, really big deal. So that's also potentially going to flow into other networks like PulseChain, which is a full system state fork. So we could see a lot of a boom in state. This is outside all the other fundamentals we've talked about on this channel. That flow is going to flow over. People are going to get rich, and that flow is going to go over to PulseChain as well. So this is a mega theme. And stablecoins will be a mega theme this bull market and moving forward, right? So a very, very big deal, right? Very, very big deal there. All right, kind of cool. Did I say that enough about stablecoins and the Genesis? And of course, we're going to have the Clarity Act. It's going to be around crypto regulations, non-custodial rights, and things like that. And then, of course, we've got more stuff coming down the line. There's the third act as well, but we've got more stuff coming. What else? Let's see here. We got checks my pulse. Woohoo, suit man. Hey, good to see you. No one's yet gone into the title. The title of the video is PulseChain since Q1 2011. So PulseChain, I'm talking over myself today. I'm like out racing myself, and that's why I'm messing up my lines. But PulseChain since Q1 2011. Let us know in the chat what I'm talking about there. And obviously, PulseChain officially launched on the 13th of May 2023. So PulseChain since Q1 2011. Let us know in the chat. There's a bit of fun today. Bit of fun. What else do we got? Check My Pulse says, what's shaking Hexkins? Well, the price is shaking for Hex, isn't it? It's on the move. So very, very cool. TJ says, you know more about what goes on PulseChain than all the other streamers combined. It's wild these guys don't want to give credit. Well, that is true, TJ, but I can't say that about myself. But thanks very much, TJ. Appreciate it. We got, actually, it deserves a magical twinkle there, but yeah. Well, it's a crazy show today. It's a crazy show today, that's for sure. We got been a while, been busy, hustling, DCAing, hodling, and repeat. I like that. Check my pulse. That is true. That's true. Now we've got a huge community. It's a pretty amazing community, and I think this community is just going to come alive. You watch it; it's going to be absolutely amazing. People are going to come out of the woodwork from our community that have been around, and of course, we're going to grow with lots of new people as well. We're going to see a lot of new streamers pop up, which is fantastic. We're going to have a big boom. Remember Hex when Hex was going through all the 13 parabolics? Well, it's going to be glorious like that too, right? It's going to be glorious like that, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it a lot. Check my pulse there. Superman is the hardest working man in crypto. I appreciate that. Big shout out. Yeah, daily. Try to do damage show. Every so often take a day off though. Every so often take a day off. But yeah, looking pretty good. Let's get into it. Should we move on? Yeah, let's move on to the Bitcoin chart and let's get into that. So yeah, Bitcoin chart looking pretty good, right? Pretty good. So it's been praying out. We mapped out the strategy early, right? We front run the whole market. I did a strategy video there. Why? Because I knew who to follow, right? Who do you follow? You follow the Treasury Secretary. You follow the Commerce Secretary, right? You follow the head of economic policy advisors. This is who you follow if you want to know what's going on. You don't get your news from the mainstream media because they're all left-wing hacks, right? So you don't do that. If you want to be misinformed, go watch the mainstream media. If you want to be informed about what's going on, watch the people that are calling the shots. And of course, that's the key there, right? So we've been doing that right from the beginning. We front run that whole thing, and we've had a good idea of what the strategy was. Now, timing is always a little bit more difficult because you can't, even the administration can't control all the variables, right? They do their best to put pressure and do influence and control, but they don't have 100% control just like anything else. So timing is always a little bit flexible, but we've had a pretty good idea of where things are going. And Trump's three-legged stool strategy, we've talked about that, right? So that is tariffs, taxes, and deregulation, right? Those are the three legs basically of the strategy, and they are all playing out incredibly, magnificently. Now, obviously not perfectly. You can't have everything perfect, but pretty incredible, like something we've never seen before. So let's just quickly talk about that. We've got Bitcoin at the moment. Let's look at the 50-day. 50-day at the moment is 105,200. The 200-day moving average 95,500. And we're in a bullish cross, right? So, and we're also gearing up in this nice little channel here, getting ready to wind up for the next move higher, right? So very, very exciting stuff. People, talking about 150 to 250 is generally where a lot of the analysts are sitting. We have also people having comments around 400k, even in 2025. And then people also, there are occasional people talking about $1 million Bitcoin, by the end of the year, which would be like an average of the last 2 and 3 cycles, right? So as opposed to maybe averaging the last cycle we had, like the third cycle. So depending on if you want to take those upper limits, I definitely think $1 million is definitely doable in 2026, although we have the midterms and that can be messy. We already see, of course, Elon Musk talking about a third party there, the American party. So we'll see how that plays. I don't think it's generally a good idea because I think Trump's done pretty well taking over a lot of the Republican Party, and no doubt they're going to try and get rid of a few more, few little sticky ones out through next year. But it's going to be interesting to see all that play out. All right, so here we are. You got to remember that Elon Musk is a moderate liberal. He does have some more conservative views now, but he's not really conservative. I remember Trump's alliance was an alliance pretty much between conservatives and moderates and liberals that got left out from the Democrat Party, which were moved extremely left, right? Marxist and globalist, right? So this is kind of the play there. So I probably would be sticking definitely on the conservative side of things. And so, yeah, it's not something I think Elon Musk is a great hero of the modern times. He'll be remembered in history books, particularly after he lands on Mars, if they can do that successfully in 27. But it's politically, I think Trump's already been doing a lot of good work in that space. All right, so and if you think about third party, you can often divide the votes as well, and that can often be a terrible outcome. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got the big tax bill. Obviously, that came through nice, pretty good. Not as not perfect, but as probably as best in the world of imperfectness that we could have got. So the big tax bill there, and if you take the CBO numbers, we're talking about 1.8% growth. But if you take Scott Bessent's numbers, 3% plus, which I would back because Trump's did extremely well in 27. And of course, I think this is going to be even bigger than that, many magnitudes bigger than even 27. And so, yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see them get 3-4% growth. And of course, that will wipe out any deficits that are that people have been talking about, right? So I think that's a moot point. So here we go. And then, of course, that's going to be great for the working class. Particularly over the Trump's period where there's no tax on tips and overtime and things like that. And that may get made permanent in the future, depending on, what the next presidency has and all that sort of good stuff. So, but in any case, it's going to be a boom for the United States. So very, very exciting. And so then we're going to obviously have trade deals. We got 12 to 15 trade deal announcements, either be trade deals or letters coming out on Monday, US time. It's already Monday here down under. So that's pretty bullish. That's going to be mega bullish. So 12 to 15 letters coming out on Monday. So there might be a few trade deals in that mix. And then, of course, so we've got everyone else by the time we get to the 9th. So by the time we get to the 9th here, it's going to be, most people are just going to get letters. Anyone that's been mucking around with negotiating will probably just get a letter, right? So that's going to be on the 9th there. On the 9th. Where am I here? On the 9th here. So this one here. And so that's pretty much going to be done, right? Then we're getting into mid-July. We've got the stable coins, right? This is mega, right? The Genius Act. And of course, that's all going to be a big deal, as well as the Clarity Act and all that sort of stuff. So Clarity Bill, I should say. So that's going to be a pretty big deal in mid-July. So yeah, more good stuff for crypto. And then, of course, we're going to have, obviously, on Monday as well, is the end of the SEC appeal period. And, of course, we're not expecting any dramas there just to be dropped and PulseChain to be free. So that is coming in the mix. So we're just full of good news right through to the mid-July here. It's going to be pretty epic. We don't expect any issue with the China tariffs because, deal being done, basically. And then, of course, by the time we get to September, we're expecting rate cuts, right? There's so much pressure now on Jerome Powell, even for him to be replaced. But, of course, a lot of pressure on the presidents inside the Federal Reserve to bring rate cuts because it's ridiculous. It's completely politics. And so, yeah, let's see. We already see that tariffs haven't had the impact on prices. And so all the liberal economists have been wrong again. And so, time for rate cuts. Even Mike Lee talking about, it's time for rate cuts and they expect, 4.5 to 2.5%. Now, Mike Lee normally doesn't even talk about, interest rates generally, just lets it lie. But this is way ridiculous. 4.5% federal funds rate, 2.5% inflation, no real impact from tariffs. And of course, I expect that not to be the case because we're expecting prices to continue to go down, just like eggs and fuel and everything else, because it's Trump's economy, right? We haven't got idiots from the Democrat Party running the place, so it's going to be pretty awesome. And of course, we're going to get into September, October. We're going to get this awesome crypto report. We're going to probably have things around budget neutral buying of Bitcoin, the altcoin stockpile, and all that sort of cool stuff happening. So it's just going to keep rolling on for crypto. And we're going to get even more good support and good news there from the United States. So very, very exciting times. And here we are, looking pretty good. So feel good about that. So that's all pretty nice. And of course, let's have a quick look at Ethereum because obviously we're looking for that golden cross. So we'll pull up Ethereum as well. And we're up to $2,565. And we're looking for the golden cross. We are so close, guys. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We are so close. In fact, I've got this on the mouse. Let's go over across here. But look at that. We are so close here. Look, so the 50 days in the yellow. So we're on a death cross at the moment still, right? We're coming out the end of it, of course. We're at 2,455 and the EMA 200 and orange is at 2,473. So we have about a $17, $18 gap there. We are so close to pushing over to a golden cross here. And we may very well see, think something like this happen. We also got the short squeeze and on all the short ETH positions, and that would be a massive, massive loss for them, but massive gain for the upside. And we could really blow past here. I've got about a 42% gain here, and of course, but that could be blown past that. We could really see some pretty incredible moves happening here with ETH coming up. So yeah, especially on the back of all this news that we've got coming through July. Right, pretty awesome. Now we do have a bit of we have bullish news coming up to the middle. We do have a bit of a quiet period into August potentially, but maybe excitement about more pressure on interest rates and more stuff from the Trump administration keeps the markets flowing forward there. The PulseChain strategic reserve is all the way up here at $3,775. So obviously we're going to get back to that, I think, pretty quickly. And so, no frets there, no frets. And of course, now we think about the Genius Act with all the stable coins. We add in the magic carpet ride here, pretty awesome. And if we include Sun and Mini-Meal, assuming it delivers everything that it's indicated, we got triple magic carpet rides going on here. Pretty amazing. And then if we add in any theories about Richard Hart and, of course, the size of his wealth, could be pretty huge, which we're going to talk about today as well. So kind of cool. All right, so that is where we are at the moment. So getting very, very bullish here in the old crypto. Now, interesting enough, we're going to start with Richard Hart, but we'll go back to this other view, I think, and see if there's any more comments. Let's see here. We got DJ and Hex in the house there, 5555. Hey, welcome. And we got Q Baller as well. Morning all. Good to see Q Baller. Big shout out. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to smash the follow button on X and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. We're streaming to 4 different YouTube channels. 3 different YouTube channels. And I've got another YouTube channel I'm going to stream to, but not yet. But we also got X as well, so stream on there. Just give us a follow. We're heading towards 1,000 followers on X. You guys know I had to rebuild. I used to have like 6,000 or 7,000, and then the X just took it down. Probably because I'm making political comments, but they didn't tell me why they took it down. So there we go. But it's probably still some left wing losers hanging over. We got TJ in the house there. Elon is just going to weaken the Dems. MAGA is with Trump trio of Trump, Vance, and Rubio. Yeah. And Trump, Vance, Rubio are just turning out to be a fantastic trifecta there of trio. They are amazing. They're doing an amazing job. Elon losing. I know he's talking about the deficits and all that, but Trump's going to grow the economy, and that's going to be a moot point, right? So Trump's growth rates will wipe out anything that Elon's talking about. And of course, they are looking to move to a surplus under the economic growth plans, and therefore start paying down the deficit just from the income side of it. But Trump's also working the asset side of the balance sheet, basically, of the United States, and ways of reducing the debt there. So keep a lookout for all that sort of stuff as well. And of course, lowering the interest rates will get rid of a lot of the interest rate costs as well. They are having to refix. I think it's 7 trillion. I think this year it's 7 or 11 trillion. I just forgot which one, but it's one of those two. And that's why they're trying to hold off on interest rate cuts. Because it's a lot of money, right? Billions and billions and billions. So yeah, good point there, TJ. Excavator in house there. Hey gang, good to see Excavator. Now Excavator is going to do very well during the boom time of America, since he is building out America. We got Yellowtail in house there. Holla holla holla. Good to see you as well. Check my pulse, says RH could quite possibly be the last personal crypto reserve in the world. Yeah, well you're the closest one to get to the title of the video. PulseChain, it's Q1 2011. So well done there. Check my pulse. Tortoise Johnny says Elon is a socialist, so he's cooked. Yeah, he's a little bit on that side. And of course, I would disagree with him on quite a few issues, but he's definitely come towards more the right, the conservative side than he used to be, because he's starting to wake up a little bit, right? But he's still hanging out with a few little other cook people there. He might be up there, checks, but not the top. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's get into it. So, Richard Hart here. The Richard Hart workout plan, it works amazingly. Now, obviously, there's been the theory around the workout plan. Maybe God mode cans, I don't know, you guys decide. Only 3 minutes a day of lifting, 1 set a day, deadlift, bench, and chin-ups. In 35 days, went up 25 pounds on the bench press, 40 pounds on deadlift, now at 220 times 3 bench and 3x8 deadlifts. Could do more, but hands gave up. How were your results? So there we go. That is his timeline there. Now, obviously, people have matched this to a theory here, but we're just going to take it for what it is at the moment. Richard Hart says, is this the most gains you can get in the least time? Only supplements with vitamin C, D, and zinc, magnesium, omega-3, and 5 grams creatine. No testosterone, anything else. Didn't even bother to eat much protein. Also, some gift me blue check. Someone gift me blue check, please. Can't post long text. So yeah, that is kind of cool. So looks like he's got the blue check already, right? So someone looks like that already happened. So nice work there. All right, so that is from Richard Hart. And of course, that's going to lead us into PulseChain, and we're going to do all the full update today. Congratulations, everybody. We're coming up to, the end of the SEC, the final of the final, I think is what Nuclear Herbs called it, which, very cool there. Big shout out to Nuclear Herbs for all the awesome coverage on the legal side of things. Day 787. We got Pulse there at quadruple 0271, up 10%, where it's 27% of the mean sacrifice price. As you guys know, liquidity was thinned out by Richard Hart earlier in the year with the farms. And here we got Pulse 6 at the moment, quadruple 0209, up 16.6%. So nice to see nice double-digit green gains today. And of course, we're sitting at still cheap, man. Still cheap. We cannot say this enough. Only at 21% of the mean sacrifice price. We're just above the 2,000 mark. PulseX is still super duper cheap. And here we are at 7.35% buy and burn. Incentive token is at $1.58, up 9%. So interesting that incentive token not really leading the way today. Maybe another day in the office there. We've got Hex at the moment is also at 6,700 a penny, up 21%. And of course, we've been talking about Hex being way super cheap. If you've been watching the live shows, to buy. Obviously not financial advice because we don't do that, but we talk about it. But there we got EHEX as well at 0.2 of a penny, and that is up from about what we were down about 1,500 of a penny the other day. So that's up pretty nicely. And the combined price EX and PX is slowly creeping back towards 1 cent. We're at 8,600 of a penny. So remember, let's just back up a little bit and remember some of the things that Richard Hart has done leading up to the bull market, anticipating the moves. And of course, we've got PulseX as deflationary, right? So only burning away. We've got Pulse that has very small inflation. That's under EIP 1559, right? So has inflation for the validators and the blocks, and then it has deflationary, right, burning, and so of the base fee and stuff. So it's got a small, relatively small inflation. Now that being said, of course, there's always big holders that are mining, and they can decide to exit and dump the charts anytime. We've seen a little bit of that, right? So that's always there. And then Inc token, of course, $1.58. We've got that also. Is pretty scarce now because we've moved. The inflation has gone over 20x lower, and so we're only sitting at 0.03 ink per second through second at the moment, which is about 2,600 ink per day, right? So it's very low inflation on ink as well. And of course, we've seen the liquidity pools thin out, right? Because that incentive was really high, and that's gone down now. And what have we seen since this? We've seen a boom in new farms, right? So we cover that here on the Kryptonite Show. Was obviously we've got new farms like Nexion, like Emmett. Emmett's amazing, doing a great job there. Nexion's got some big roadmaps coming. We've seen Vox Farms doing incredibly well. And of course, we've also seen Function Island recently launched. We're getting all these new, beautiful frontier sort of farms offering lots of different yields and services. And so we've seen, that the PulseChain developers have filled the gap after that, right? And obviously, we've also got the big dexes like 9mm, 9-inch, particularly 9-inch, offers yields as well. And there's many other applications of DeFi on PulseChain that also offer yields, including all the liquidity forks, right? So pretty amazing. And of course, we know that our liquidity forks on PulseChain are some of the most valuable out of all the liquidity forks. I think there's something like 30 to 40 liquidity forks out there. I think it's maybe around 35, if I remember rightly. And I think the top 10, I think we've got like 4 out of the top 10, I think, are on PulseChain, if I get that accurate. So pretty exciting times on PulseChain. And we also obviously got our own native stablecoin, Coast, and that's done $10.4 million. And also we've got obviously PUSD ALGO, which I'm really looking forward to. I really do believe is the flagship protocol for Jacob, who's building out Mafia and on-chain bet, right? So we've got so much stuff happening in that space, and that's going to be, particularly a big area to watch on PulseChain because of the Genius Act coming up there. I've got to stop calling it the Genesis Act. It's just stuck in my mind. But that is the place. So that is kind of cool. So we've got lots of bullish stuff, going to happen. Obviously, on a down market, it moves us down faster with small liquidity pools. But on an up market, it moves us up real fast once we get that uptrend in play. Now, gas prices, of course, we're sitting at 850 million beats, so pretty cheap. 0.8 of a penny for a PulseX swap at the moment. Moving to the validators. The validators at the moment, let's see how we're going. Nice move there. Looks like we've moved up about 400 validators. So overall, maybe 700 validators over the last week. So that's really nice. We're at 52,000. Very cool there. Looking at the bridge, which is kind of one of the main things we've been watching, right? It's one of our main indicators. It's up nice, guys. It's up nice. 85.9, almost $85.9 million. So that was down at about 83.2, I think it was yesterday. So we're up real nice there. That is looking very healthy indeed. In fact, I've got my snapshot still from the 3rd, so we'll quickly go through some high-level numbers. Just having a look at the what am I looking at here? So 81.6 of the 3rd, and here we are on the 7th. So about 4 or 5 days worth. We're sitting at 81.6. We're now at 85.9. So that's a really nice move. So we're up, 4.3 million or something like that in that period of time. We've got DAI stables there. It's gone from 17.6 to 18.1 million. We've got ETH gone from 6,745 up to 6,900. So we're up over 160, maybe 160 there on ETH. USDC was 14 and a quarter million. we're now at 14.5, so we're up at just under 250k there. So nice moves there. Obviously, EHEX is up quite a lot. We're at 14.2 million EHEX. We're now at 14.5. And we're at 17. So EHEX has gone up dramatically. So that's where we've had a lot of our gain from, is from EHEX. So we've gone from 14.2 to 17 million. So we're up what's that, 2.75 million there on EHEX. That's giving us a lot of that value that we've recovered there, right? So of course, Coast has gone from 10.2 million to 10.4. USDC has gone from 5 million to 5,050,000 to 5,113,000. So we're up about 60, 70k there on USD Tether. And of course, Bitcoin there sitting at about the same. All right, so that's kind of cool. And of course, let's move on from there. And as we're saying, we've got these liquidity forks. Might as well quickly talk about that, since I'm gas bagging about stables. We've got USDL, obviously PXDC, HEXDC, and of course we've got Ink Printer as well. 4 liquidity forks, and they're all contributing a certain amount of money. Now, they don't contribute a lot to circulation, but they do contribute a lot to the stability coin for risk management and for earning some basic yield. But they don't do a lot for circulation. That's why we also have Coast. Before I get into the next one, we also have Coast, which is doing 10.4 million. So together, adding all those up, we're at maybe $16 million, something like that, in stable coins. And we're waiting for PUSD ALGO, which is possibly going to get enabled soon, because Tetra is about to launch, and that's going to change the possibilities of DeFi on PulseChain. And then we're going to get Signum Oracle following up as well. So we'll have 2 oracles, Fetch Oracle and Signum Oracle, and then Signum Oracle will open up PUSD Algo, and so we'll hopefully get an update there too. So which is going to be pretty fun. So looking forward to that. And of course, with the Genius Act there, we could have an absolute boom on PulseChain, and we might get our own USD reserve currencies as well, right? I don't know whether we're going to move into doing, stable coins like Bonk. Don't know if we're going to do that, but we'll see how we go in the future. I think PUSD Algo will probably be a big boom at the right time, right place. So looking forward to that, Jacob. Everything is in favor. So let's go. Now let's jump over to the PulseChain bridge flows. Now this is the latest update. This is updated to an hour ago, so I'm not only missing 1 hour out of it. But you can see that we were all the way down at 4.7 million negative. We actually recovered quite a lot. We covered to 2.2 million, and now we're still down. We came down to 3 million again, and now we're back at 2.9 million. So we obviously had quite a bit of money leave overnight over the chain still, but we're heading in genuinely in the right direction. So we're going to keep watching this over the next few days. I'm expecting this to continue the reversal with the good news around the final nail in the coffin for the SEC. Let's see how we get on here, and with all the bullish news we've got in the coming week. Now that will also depend on the relativity play between Ethereum running with the golden cross and all that sort of stuff. Whether we get a delayed impact, as money goes to switches around to the majors and then comes back to PulseChain. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But in any case, we're looking pretty bullish here on the old direction, the general direction here. So fingers crossed that continues. All right, so that is kind of it on the bridge. Those are timestamp values, remember, not dynamic prices. We also have PulseChain news talking about the whale. This month's primary dumper sold $809,000 worth of PulseX today alone. Their wallets have a combined 13, I don't know what that's supposed to be, PulseX left. Another whale emptied, and yet PulseX is up 10%. So, yeah, we've had a big dumpers on PulseX in particular. They have, pretty much getting to the end there of some of these whales. So, pretty huge. Now, I think we've still got one of the big ones, still has quite a lot of PulseChain stuff. So we'll see how that plays out. But if the prices start reversing, they'll probably hold on for a little bit there. We'll see how that plays out. But a little bit update there from PulseChain News Talk. All right, so that's going to lead us into the overall markets. Before we do that, though, let's catch up in the chat a bit. We've got a few comments in there. Check My Pulse says, has he ever said how much he holds? We're talking about Richard Hart. I know 7 years ago he said publicly he had 300,000 Bitcoin. I never said ETH, which he had at least 1 million ETH. But he's been in since the beginning. Notorious hodler, yeah. So Richard Hart, we're going to talk about that. Should we talk about the end? Or what? Yeah, well, let's talk about that all at the end. We'll finish off the market updates, and then we'll talk about Richard Hart, and of course the title of the video. We'll talk about that too. All right, let me just go through this quickly. We got how we're doing for time. We're up to 40 minutes. So yeah, we got the most wanted at the moment. So we've got 34.7 million volume. We've got 260,000 transactions at the moment. So pretty awesome. We've got real big moves in the charts. This is exactly what everyone wants to see, right? Volume going up, transactions going up, and prices going up. That's all we've got all together today. So most wanted at the moment up 37%, taking the title there. And of course, Pump Tires there, considered one of Richard Hart's tokens, right? And of course, USD Tether there. The Pump Tires version is up 35%. We've got Firewall, Pump Tires again. Pump Tires are, dominating today, up 34%. We've got the old Pump Tires Die as well, up 28% on the back. I guess P-Dye's moving as well. We're going to check that in a minute. We've got Hex Pump Tires as well. Not Hex Pump Tires, but this Hex here is up as well. And that is up 22.6%, obviously. And then, of course, we've got another Hex one here. Bitcoin Hex, I think it is. That's been Pump Tires up 22%. We've got Pepe up 22% as well. Pump Tires absolutely dominating the top 10. And then we've got Top Hat as well, which I believe is also Pump Tires, and that is from Crypto Coffee, the biggest influencer in the space as far as all general measures are concerned, and up 22%. So those are our top 10. And look at that. Wow. So Pump Tires domination today. That is crazy. Obviously, we've got Hex in the middle as well. Pump Tires plus Hex. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, getting down to number 13, we've got ALGO, which is on the back of Hex, right? So that's up 20% as well. And then, of course, we get down to another Pump Tires. Pump Tires are decimating the table today. That's crazy. X Game at the moment also up there from Solid X, and of course Firewall, one of our two big public whales. And of course that's up 20% as well, and a nice little bounce there. So looking pretty good there in number 18. PulseX in the mix, of course, and then Sparta at number 20 as well. That is up 17.8%. So not too bad. And of course that accumulates Hex, right? Hex is up, and Sparta accumulates Hex, right? So it's winning off the back of that. So we see what are the derivatives here: Hex, ALGO, and we also see Sparta. Let's call them just general derivatives, and in quotes, and that's on the back of Hex there. So not bad. What else? We got UFO as well, along with PGC at number 21, up 17.8%. Let's go down PDC there as well, up 15%. So yeah, pretty amazing. We got BBC token from 9inch is also doing not too bad today as well, up 13%. And then Solid X, of course, this is the one you want to hold from Firewall if you want to benefit from X Game. So Solid X and X Game are both on the move. We are waiting for those games to launch. Obviously, we don't know whether they've got their casino license yet, but they may very well have. Maybe they're just waiting for the timing in the market because it's been such bad sentiment. You certainly want to launch when the sentiment is positive. And so, yeah, that is getting close. And of course, we're expecting 4 different products from Solid X and Firewall. And that is at least 2 of those. One of them is going to be staking for Solid X, and the other one will be the buy and burn. Remember, this is going to be an omni-chain strategy as well. So we're just a token on PulseChain, and then the game's going to be on multiple chains. So PulseChain is going to benefit there with all that capital inflow and the buy and burn for Solid X itself. So pretty cool. There's going to be 2 other products as well launching. And of course, we're expecting big marketing budget. The first time on PulseChain, really, we're expecting big marketing budgets as well as big network effects on multi-chains here. So keep a lookout for that. And that's about as much as I'm going to say. We got Reserve Tayet there as well, up 12%. We got Gelato up at 12.3% as well. What else there? They're sitting in the top 30, 35, let's say. And then we've got 9mm, the second biggest DEX outside of PulseX, up at number 35, up at 12%. So everything is looking very, very nice indeed. Trump token there on the meme, Pump Ties. It's been pumping the last couple of days. That's come down to number 39, but still up 11%. TF Fitzgerald company up 11% as well. Delt token, another Pump Tires, is at number 47, up 9% there. Lady Gaga as well is up at 9%. And then Your Mum at 49 is also up. That, of course, that was talked about with the big burns going on there. I think Moon King and others were covering them. And then number 50 is Time Dividend from KG and the Internet Money team, doing amazing jobs. Well over 80,000 downloads now, and it looks like it's climbing all the time. But that is up at 9.3% at the moment. Of course, you earn some sweet divs. I really consider Time Dividend, one of the DEXs, right? Because it has all the swapping and you share the fees. So it's kind of like really good from that, compared to 9inch where you're farming and you get some of the profits there. So I think this is obviously from all the swaps. So I think that's pretty cool. A little bit like Patias potentially, because it's doing a lot of that sort of swapping. So kind of cool. So that's our top 50. And so, yeah, top 50, over 9% gains. So, PulseChain's heading in the right direction today, leading into this big news that we're expecting, of course, around the SEC and the end of all that, the final nail in the coffin, or the final of the final, as they say. What else? We're scrolling down here. Teddy Takeover from Moon King and Ian Heinisch, who backed this big time. It's at number 58, up 8.6%. Surf Token from Crypto Paradise. And, I can't say good enough things about the Crypto Paradise team. They really are doing an amazing job out there. Collabs, partnerships, pre-sales, these guys do it all. And, of course, the big DAO, and, of course, accumulating more money in the DAO there. Surf Token doing pretty well, up 8.5%. So keep a lookout for that team. And a huge team, right? 130,000 followers there. Pretty awesome, exciting things happening there. 62 is 9-inch, number 3 biggest DEX, is up 8% as well. And then PNX, Phoenix, they're up 6%. We've got X up 5%. X obviously associated also with Surf Token. And of course, we've got Soul Sun Mini Meal, one of my Magnificent 7, is up 5.5% today. We didn't have any buy and burns over the weekend. Interesting. That's an interesting trend. We had them on the weekday. So presumably we're going to see it coming up maybe tonight or tomorrow, the buy and burns there. And typically they've been at $11,000 or $22,000 worth. I imagine that we're going to probably have a double catch up there. So keep a lookout for Soul Sun Mini Meal either tonight or tomorrow. Probably tonight actually. Keep a lookout for that and see where we get that buy and burn kicking back in like we did last week. But did go silent over the weekend. People obviously doing their own thing in the executive team, whoever's pushing the buttons there. Number 66, up 6% as well. Loan token, liquid loans there, up 2%. Now, we saw a video from Crypto Crazy, and he was out there talking about doing actual interviews. So if you wonder what's happened to liquid loans and Crypto Crazy, you can go check that out. And of course, we've got the monster thread coming out, from the Crypto Night Show. MVS Crypto, the editor-in-chief, is working hard on that. And that is coming out later today, probably. So keep a lookout for the monster thread number 9 with all the latest, hottest news in the last week. And I'm pretty sure Liquid Loans is in that. So keep a lookout for that. Pretty cool. Beast as well is up 1.1% there at the moment, 30 cents. So pretty much stuck around 30 cents these days. And that is pretty much almost where we're finished. We've got UpX on the back of Pulse is up 1%, and Fetch Oracle up slightly as well from the Liquid Loans team. So that's pretty much it. Everything else, CDI managing to go green as well. Everything else is slightly out of the money at the moment in terms of the prices there. And we do see some, pretty big capitulations here on some of the peers. So some of the smaller peers in liquidity. So that's pretty much it. That is our top ones there. Let's quickly go over to Pulse Coin List, and then we're going to get into the title of the video in a minute because I'm going to wrap up the market update. We got PDI sitting at the moment 11% profit taking. Now we did indicate that yesterday on the RSIs. Remember that it was more probable than not that they were going to have a retrace on the RSI. A little 10-11%, not too bad. It's probably going to hold up fairly well, is my guess. It is, obviously one of the biggest communities in PulseChain, and of course, lots of narratives around Compound, and obviously they've got actual stuff coming, which is around Better Bank and the modified fork of Aave. So expecting some big things around PDI there as well. That is not going away, I don't think, anytime soon. Continue on. We obviously got Wrap Bitcoin, which is, I think, is a fantastic narrative on PulseChain. That is down 11% as well, but up 25% for the week, $681. And that's done some pretty amazing things. Let's quickly pull up the chart here on the old Wrap Bitcoin. And of course, Rack Michelle put out a big news article on Wrap Bitcoin, saying that if you own one Pulse Wrap Bitcoin, that's all you'll need. And I love that. I love that narrative. That is fantastic. And it's a great one. People always think about how do we promote PulseChain, right? How do we talk about PulseChain? Well, people used to say, cheap and fast. Well, a lot of chains are cheap and fast, so you have to talk about something else, right? But people talked about Bitcoin, buy one Bitcoin, and that's all you'll need. And of course, maybe it's just buy one Wrap Bitcoin, right? That's all you'll need as well. And that's probably going to lead us shortly into our conversation about Richard Hart, right? So let's get into that. But that is $671 at the moment. Recently was up at $784, just coming back down from that. The RSI was, got pretty hot and started rolling over. The RSI was rolling over, and the chart eventually ran out of steam, and it rolled over too. And here we are. The RSI on the daily, on the 4-hourly, I should say, which is a trading view, is at 46. Now on the daily, we just come down from overheated as well. This is what we talked about yesterday. That was getting hot. and that the more likely than not it was going to have a retrace. That's what it's done. But we're very bullish about where the wrap Bitcoin narrative is going, and of course it's very highly controlled, right? Highly owned in the ownership. So yeah, one big whale owns tons of it. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. It's going to be pretty fun. So that's pretty much it on the old Bitcoin. All right, we're 15 minutes on the hour. We've talked about just about everything on the markets there. Yeah, pretty crazy times. Let's get into some of the comments, and then we're going to talk about the title of the video because we've got a few questions around that too. Tortoise Johnny says, OMG, I have the same tea leaves as Wookie. All in on liquid e-fork, says Tortoise Johnny. Nice. And we've got Francia in the house there. Welcome. Always a pleasure to have Francia in the house. PulseChain since Q1 2011? Question mark. I like that. That is the question today. And we're having a bit of fun with that today. And of course, PulseChain since Q1 2011. Not PulseChain since the 13th of May 2023 or the fork at the 10th of May, but actually PulseChain since Q1 2011. We're going to talk about that. Took profits on my Tropa and bought PulseX and PHEX last week. Bam, Marco, what a move. Rennie in house there, the only network that doesn't stop dipping, says Rennie. Whoa, we've stopped dipping today. So you've come on the wrong day with that comment. We got Vox in house. Vox reposted the stream. I appreciate that, Vox. Much love. Yeah, definitely check out Vox for high yield farming. These guys are onto it. So big shout out there to the Vox team. Rennie says 4 years we won't get back. 4 years, yeah, but you got 4 years in the future, you will get back. But think about the other way. The other way is looking at it. You've had 4 years of accumulation, or at least 2 years. Was it 785 days of accumulation? So just think about it that way, because when it does come, it's going to be pretty glorious. And I think we're right on the doorsteps of this big move. So enjoy the next 6 to 9 months in particular. All right, so yeah, let's talk about the title of the video, which, Brennan's pulled up here, PulseChain since Q1 2011. Now, as you guys know, a big whale moved a whole ton of Bitcoin since the first time since 2011, and it was moving 10,000 lots of Bitcoin at a time. And at first, the Coinbase, I think, CEO thought it might be an exchange or something, or a hack. There's some of the theories that are coming out. And then eventually they came to the conclusion that it must have been a Bitcoin OG miner. And of course, who do we know that are Bitcoin OG miners? Well, we know Richard Hart's a Bitcoin OG miner. Of course, he's on multiple videos, multiple videos saying that he started mining in Q1 2011. 1 or 2 videos, he even said he may have been slightly earlier than that. But of course, the Q1 was 2011 is generally when he's been saying he was mining Bitcoin. So that was like interesting. So could be him, because that's when the mining moves from, right? It was Q1. That's when all this tens of thousands of Bitcoin, I think it was 80,000 plus Bitcoin, kept going up and up and up. And so yeah, I think it ended up being like 300,000 Bitcoin or something over 8 different wallets. Now these wallets are just mini wallets. This has been a spaghetti of wallets. In other words, the wallets were moved a lot back in that time. And of course, that all goes back into mining wallets, right? Where the 50 block rewards were coming out, right, on these minings. And Richard's had mentioned before that, he was mining, not mining pretty early. And how did he hear about it? He heard it on Reddit, right? And of course, he got on all the back channels there, and he happened to meet one of the guys, at least the first guy that was showing people how to set up doing the miner on the Bitcoin. That's how he got into it. And then he used his graphics cards and set up his system like the guy showed him. And of course, he was able to mine with his graphics card essentially a whole ton of Bitcoin. And of course, he was doing it at a high rate. He got into it quite large, right? So remember, he had retired from his marketing company that made him pretty wealthy, and he had plenty of time in his hands. So he was looking at Reddit and the internet back streets is all black market, dark ecosystem, what do you want to call it? And of course, and so then he started setting up this mine. He thought, I might as well get into this and do that. And so he set up a whole ton of miners. And so this is what Richard said he was doing. And of course, he said that he was mining 50 Bitcoin blocks. But not only was he mining Bitcoin, but he was also buying Bitcoin, remember? So he rode Bitcoin, as Richard would say, up to $30 and rode it back down to 30 cents again. And so he had been through all that. And of course, he went through, obviously the Mount Gox crash, remember? That was up at like $17, and it crashed to like 1 cent on the Mount Gox. All those sort of things in that period of time. 2013, 14. I think it was 14. Just can't remember the year now. 13, 14, and so all that through period, Richard's been through it all, right? So he gained all his knowledge right from that early period. So Richard Hart could definitely be a contender. And of course, we know that the AA lobby and the Bitcoin free claim was over 300,000, right? We saw also a record claim. I think it was about June, probably mid 2020, that we saw that big 46,000 Bitcoin claim, and we had over 300,000 Bitcoin claim. And of course, Richard's also on video talking about how he freely minted 300,000 Bitcoin as well. And of course, people have associated that to his Bitcoin mining. Now, obviously, he would have mined a lot of Bitcoin, and he could have quite recently, even if he was winning 4 blocks a day, which is something that has been mentioned as well. I think Ivan Tech mentioned it on an interview with Richard Hart, that mining 450 blocks a day, and he would have been able to do that for quite some time, and in 2011. And so that would have given him a lot of Bitcoin, and presumably if you could do that for a whole year, you could get up to the couple 100,000 mark in Bitcoin. But we also know that Richard was keen to buy some Bitcoin, so that's also true. Now the question, of course, is you mine the Bitcoin, you buy the Bitcoin, you got a lot of Bitcoin, and we see that the wallets that were moving actually kept moving Bitcoin a lot back in 2011. And of course, they kept trying to, I guess, hide it all and move it around. And they were moving 50,000 Bitcoin lots at a time. So it was pretty big stuff there on all the blockchain, all the blockchain data. So pretty crazy times back then. And it's interesting how much we got Bitcoin through the AA lobby. I always thought it was rather peculiar at the time that we got that much Bitcoin through. I really did not expect a lot of Bitcoin going through the AA lobby. A lot of people were like bullish, we're going to get millions of Bitcoin claiming. I didn't see that at all. And so it was at the time. And because, Bitcoin community is very different, particularly the hardcore core people, right? It's not typically something like Hex they're going to do a free claim on, sign the UXTO signatures and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. So where it heads, but it's all sorts of matches very well with a Richard Hart profile. And of course, maybe he took a little bit of profits here and there and moved stuff around. But then, of course, what he started in 2016, Richard said he was doing Ethereum mining too, right? So he's mining Ethereum as well. And of course, if you have got ETH and you got Bitcoin, you often get the benefits of any forks that go on as well. So you potentially got a lot of fork coins as well. So Richard arguably could be on the rich list of not just with the PulseChain sacrifice on the ETH strategic reserve, but could be on the rich list there of Bitcoin. And particularly not just any rich list, but potentially had something like the 5th or 6th biggest wallet as well. So there's lots of stuff going on there, and of course those Bitcoins have been moved. So yeah, it could be Richard Hart. There's a lot of good matching for that evidence, and right through from 2011 or through to the AA lobby, through to all the videos that Richard's talked about, and to today, right? So it could be pretty cool. Obviously, Richard got a bit upset with Bitcoin as well, obviously with all the inflation bugs that it had and things like that. And of course, he wanted to make a better Bitcoin, and that was, of course, Bitcoin Hex, which became Hex, right? And here we are today. Hex is moving today, funny enough, as the front run leader today's markets ahead of the SEC. So could be pretty awesome. Now, if Richard does hold, 300,000 Bitcoin or 500,000 Bitcoin, so because those early wallets had actually up to 500,000 Bitcoin, I noticed. So yeah, let's see. Obviously, people sell some Bitcoin too. I mean, it's a long period of time since 2011 to today, but no doubt kept a lot of it, right? So if that 300,000 mark, it seems good based on most of the evidence. That does seem to be about the amount that he may have. And so, but then additionally, in 2017, 2018, we got all these forks of Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff. And so arguably got a lot more other coins that are worth a ton of money as well. So it could arguably be on the rich list of all these different leading tokens. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash, others. So it could be massive. So, are we not only on the strategic, when I say we, the royal we, Richard Hart basically is, but are we on the rich list of all these different tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum? This is how big the theory could go. So this is on the upside scenario that we're up on all these scenarios, and therefore imagine what could be collateralized over. We've talked about this on PulseChain with the asset collateral, right? So that would be the best way to make money, right? That's you collaterally back something, you lock it in so that it can't be really sold, and then you could potentially match, wrap Bitcoin with it. P-wrap Bitcoin, I should say, on PulseChain, if you did have a lot of Bitcoin to back it, and you lock it in, and then it's just like a representative, and then you try and ramp that up as the PulseChain Bitcoin becomes a similar value, if not the same value as the OG Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin, so on its own blockchain, right? So this is some of the stuff that could play out. Imagine if that plays out like that, it would be absolutely mind-boggling. The world will be talking about that. That would be the greatest move, I think, in crypto ever. It would be unbelievable to do something like that. So let's see. Richard Hart talked about being able to transfer value without transferring coins. So this could be something. If he pulls something like that off, it would truly probably be the greatest financial move I think we'd ever see. Honestly, forget even the re-rate of Bitcoin and any of the other tokens. I think just a financial move like that would just be mind-boggling. It would be pretty crazy. It would really be insane. So that's the asset play. Obviously, there's income buying plays. So obviously, if you take like the ETH money, go buy up assets. But doing the asset play is a much smarter play to keep value. And so it's going to be interesting to see whether he gets some locking mechanism like that. And of course, how many rich list chains is Richard Hart on, right? That's the other thing, right? All the forks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course also the PulseChain, right? And pretty exciting. So there's a lot of stuff there packed out there. Let's see what anyone else has got to say. There's a few comments from me on it. That's why I've got PulseChain since Q 2011. Is PulseChain really? And I'm not talking about the actual physical start of PulseChain, but or the concept of PulseChain, but just the financial potential backing of PulseChain. Maybe it all began 2011 in Q1. So there we go. And it's massive, right? So let's see what that's worth. So let's even do 300,000 Bitcoin today just on the one chain. Let's assume, and that would be 109,000. All right. That would be massive, right? So that would be $327 billion, $327 billion, which would dwarf the Magic Carp ride at the moment, right? Would absolutely dwarf the Magic Carp ride. So let's see. Obviously, not use all that money, but you could do lots of different things with that, right? And of course, interesting that the lots that were moved were 10,000 lots. I thought that was interesting too, that 10,000 lots were being moved. So yeah, 10,000 X for hex. I know you guys decide, but it is pretty crazy. Now I just wanted to pull up something here as well. Let's bring this up, this chart, shall we? So let's have a look at this, because this is going to change probably dramatically. And let's bring this in. All right, so this is the Magic Carp ride at the moment on Ethereum. And you can see here that we're down 32%, but I think this is going to get wiped out. We get that golden cross and it's going to get wiped out. This is $207 million down, can you believe? Just think about that. We're $207 million down, and it could all get wiped away within 3 or 4 days, and we're back at break even. And so, yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see this. Currently, we entered at 645 million, and we're currently worth 438. And the reason why I say we is because Richard Hart himself was the one that instigated getting it put onto the Ethereum Strategic Reserve, right? And so, yeah, there we go, down 32%, but that could be wiped out within 3 or 4 days. So keep a lookout for that. Golden cross are coming, short squeeze. It's going to be pretty glorious. But is the big game this Magic Carp ride? Because obviously, if we triple the value in ETH, if ETH goes up 3x, and we go up to over $2 billion, 2.3, maybe even close to $2.5 billion. Yeah, that's a ton of money, right? To pump the PulseChain in either buying or through some asset-backed system. Obviously, it could be backing P-wrap Bitcoin, all sorts of stuff like that. I think he's moved away from PDI, right? Obviously, but maybe the wrap Bitcoin's still in play. And of course, if he's got as much Bitcoin as we've been talking about, that could be massive, right? Now, I haven't even talked about other money that he's potentially got, right? Obviously, we've talked about the fork coins. Could be tons of those fork coins, being a big whale holder of ETH and Bitcoin, but also the AA lobby, right? The ETH money that went through the AA lobby. So could have, well in excess of $100 million in there. So yeah, that could be pretty huge. So yeah, and that goes up in value too with ETH, right? So lots of potentialities that could be playing out in the future. And then of course it depends on what's Richard's plans. So far his plans, he's talked about forking the wallet. He's thinned out the liquidity pools. He's definitely been caring about PulseChain, right? And it's not like he hasn't been caring about it, because he's been making all these bullish moves to push it at the beginning of the year. He did a live stream video and all that sort of stuff. So for some people that might seem, maybe he's just doesn't care anymore, he's moved on. Well, don't make all these moves like that if you don't care about stuff, and do a video and all that sort of stuff. And he's talked also about what's he talked about? Well, let's get into it from Richard Hart, shall we? Let's go talk to Richard Hart and, of course, hear from him.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle. Nothing to do with any of that.
I mean, you couldn't say it much better, right? Richard said it really well there. We could see something like that, and maybe we'll see one tomorrow. Who knows? It's a good day for it. With the end of the SEC, maybe we see it on the 8th, the 8th in the morning sometime. I don't know. You guys decide, but it could be pretty interesting where this all heads. But yeah, he's talked about forking a wallet, and it's pretty amazing. We've seen some pretty cool things happen recently too with onboarding PulseChain. Even setting Richard's Hart's moves aside, we've seen incredible things happening with Sun Mini Mill. That's another potential magic carp, right? They deliver 20% of net sales. They are already up close to 100 million in sales. That if they grow as to where they're going to grow, they're going global. All the rest of it, they successfully do all that. You're talking about potentially hundreds of millions of dollars coming onto PulseChain just from that, and it could be well in excess of that, right? Could be 8 figures, 9 figures there, probably 9 figures. So it's potentially massive, it's huge. So, and we also had all these new on ramps. We've had Ramp now. We've got banks that are probably coming back online soon, and then we've obviously got 2 more on ramps coming on as well. I also did a chart of all the bridges that are potentially coming over to PulseChain. Maybe we should bring that up as well so you guys can see. So we have got, in addition to Richard Hart and all that sort of stuff, some of the stuff that we know and the stuff that we can get some circumstantial evidence from. We know that that's potentially really big. And then, of course, we've actually got a lot of developers building a lot of on-ramps. We've got Liberty Finance out there building multi-chain to multi-chain. So we're getting all the tools we need at the right time. It just seems like magic and a miracle, doesn't it, almost? It is pretty crazy. So the last 4 years, which have been tough for a lot of people, will suddenly end up being the golden age of PulseChain, not just the golden age of America. Things are really starting to look good. We've still got some whale activity. In some ways, some of those whales look kind of friendly. In other ways, some of the whales are definitely not friendly. They're just risk management or moving over to the majors. But that may backfire. Like today, people that got out, the other day, now the prices have gone up. So you're locking out whales. They've redistributed their tokens, and now they're locked out. They have to pay higher prices to get back in, and many will do that. So let me just find this. Let me just find my post here, because I want to pull that up. Hopefully it's not too far down the line. Yeah, here it is. All right, so let's do that. And let's go back into the screen here. We're doing for time an hour and 8 minutes, so we've got another 5-6 minutes there. We've got a good crowd watching today, so appreciate everybody watching. Hope you guys are enjoying it today. And definitely get into the comments. And don't forget to follow on X and subscribe on YouTube. If you guys haven't joined my strategy club, I strongly recommend joining it. It's only $35 a month. Very good value. And of course, you get a monthly report every month, which is going to be upgraded soon. And you also get access to the top 10 index, which is the Kryptonite show. And of course, also get access to the strategy club chat sessions, as well as a daily to regular alpha running through there. So definitely check it out. It's well worth it. Only $35 a month. Fantastic value. Some people are charging thousands of dollars. You know who they are. Well, let's jump through down the bottom here. We've got some more comments before we get into this final topic of the PulseChain bridges, because I wanted to pull that out as well. The fundamentals are on the move. Let's see here. We got... Is it you, Super, says Wookie? I'm not sure. What was this about? Let me jump back up here. I'm not sure what you were talking about there. Wookie can read the tea leaves. PDI to $1. Yeah, well, PDI is definitely having a great time, and I don't think that's going to abate there. What else? Brennan says all these moves before July the 7th, probably nothing. Says Brennan. Absolutely, I agree with that. RH sounded like Raoul Paul. Lol, says Brennan. Yeah, that's funny. Well, Raoul Paul's trying to own the banana thing, right? The banana part of the curve, which we're also upon, right? Everything's aligned. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, it's been tough the last couple of years, but man, it's been a great time for accumulation, and it looks like the road ahead for the next 6 to 9 months in particular is paved in gold. So look forward to it. Let's go. It's almost time for us. Delayed gratification X down. Absolutely it is. All right, so let's jump into the final topic, which is all these bridges, right? So I did this wonderful graphic because I like colors. That's why I call it wonderful. Anytime it's got cool colors in. But we got the bridge, PulseChain official bridge. Now, obviously, virtually most stuff it goes through this bridge, right? So even Ramp now goes through the official PulseChain bridge, right? We do have on-chain to on-chain swaps. People are using wallet liquidity on each chain, and they just swap it out that way. So we have some of that. But a lot of the time, it's just coming over the official bridge. Now, my bridge data that I show you is typically stablecoins, Wrapped ETH, and Hex. There's very little Pulse and PulseX that shows up on that bridge. That bridge is provided by, I think it's on the list actually, that bridge data. I just can't see it here. Token Hex, Token X is the one that sets that bridge up. The data is in Telegram, and that's what's the backing for that. Now, we have all these. So I went through and basically itemized all the ones that I could see that were having bridges. Now, a few of these are using referral codes from Change now, but essentially these are all the bridges that we have on PulseChain operating at the moment. So there are some other names out there, but they're typically deprecated. They're pretty much ended. So they don't really operate, so they're not on here. But PulseChain official bridge, Ramp now, Banksa, Sun Mini Mill. We got two new ones coming. These are via Sun Mini Mill, as far as I can tell, because their Hex Scout talked about 4 different bridges. So we've got a new one, maybe July. So this is supposed to be in May. It hasn't popped up, so I've just pushed it out to July. So we'll see where that launches. And then we've got a new one in the 3rd quarter. So I've just put September for that one. That's the background for those two. We've got PulseLN, which is great. If you haven't used PulseLN, fantastic. Very fastest out there, man. They are so fast. And then we've got Change now, obviously, internet money. You can do swapping in the wallet there. It's not the cheapest one to do, but if you're holding time dividend, it's pretty lucrative. We've got Hex Scout there, obviously doing a great job. They are using API from Ramp now, but doing a great job. They have a very good discount on the fees. Got a good deal there. PortalX is out there as well. Now, the PortalX uses pretty much Change now, right? So it's pretty much using Change now. So the fees are a little bit high, but they also do aggregation, and they also multi-chain too. We got GoPulse, of course, a little controversial, but very controversial in the swapping. Some of the swapping rates, particularly for large accounts, have been very bad indeed. So just be cautious there. If you're doing small amounts, probably fine. You're certainly very fast in fast-moving markets. GoPulse does move particularly fast, but just take now that there's good evidence for that. And then, of course, Token X out there. ImpSeal. I don't really use many of these other ones here, but they're out there. And, of course, Gibbs Finance, Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap is just sort of the new kid on the block. They're doing multi-chain. Pretty awesome stuff. They're just doing stable coins, USDC, but they're going to broaden their range. They set up their own liquidity pools, which is pretty interesting. I've got some other theories about that, but I just don't want to talk about it on live stream. But that's pretty interesting. We've got Coaster, of course, doing an amazing job. And they're about to bring out a new product, which is going to benefit all the liquidity forks. So that could be play into this whole Genius Act and, of course, the stablecoin play. That's going to be really, really exciting. So we're going to be talking about that. That's big alpha right there. So kind of cool. So with these bridges, why are we focusing on bridges? Because the more ways we have money coming on, the more capital comes on the PulseChain, right? We want it two-way as well because we want money to flow. That's a much healthier system. And of course, this is where all the money's coming. Where's the money? How are you going to get your bags pumped, right? So excluding Richard Hart and all that sort of stuff, this is the private sector, right? This is the market that's going to move us, right? If Richard Hart is the central bank with the OA wallets and sacrifice wallets, and I didn't even talk about that before, right? I talked about all the other coins he may have, but of course he's also got all the OA sacrifice coins as well, right? Which is most of the coins on PulseChain and the Richard Hart core coins, and all the LP webbing and with pump ties. So I kind of see him as a central bank. So that's kind of the play. And we got the Coast there doing an amazing job. Over $10.4 million in stable coins. You can bring in US dollars, I think pounds and things like that. We've got Simple Swap out there, Nan Swap, which I think are all on the back of Change now, right? Just like PortalX, just pretty much using that. And then we've got StealthX, Houdini Swap, Gas Zip, a Blockbend, and I don't really use any of these, but some people have used them, so those are out there. And then Pulse Wallet, of course, which is out there as well. And they're doing a pretty good job. They've just recently enabled a margin trading there, so that's been pretty cool on their wallet. So that's pretty neat. These are all the ones on the list at the moment. So very exciting. I'm particularly excited about Sun Minimal. Obviously, that could be another magic carpet ride on PulseChain if they deliver everything they're talking about. I'm excited about these new bridges. I'm excited about Ramp now and Hex Scout with the onboarding there. Particularly excited about obviously Batias as well. And the Batias doing swapping, but Batias is supporting a lot of the stuff with Ramp now, allowing execution liquidity, and then therefore giving us a professional intermediary that a lot of these services can use in terms of doing liquidity. Because Ramp now, for example, they always front run their liquidity, so they'll bring over USDC over the bridge, and they'll have like 35,000 in USDC at any particular time. They often bridge over multiple times of that amount of money, and then they can automatically execute the deals, right? So someone wants in Europe. And that's the other thing. Not only are we getting a lot of American money coming in, but through Ramp now, and Sun Minimal, we're getting all this European money on PulseChain as well, even more than we used to get. Obviously, we've always had a good European community out there. Of course, that's where Richard Hart's been based, but this is pretty massive, right? So massive re-rate here. And the other thing with Sun Minimal is that we don't really have institutions per se, right? But this could be the big mega channel through Sun Minimal with institutions, because they start investing in Sun Minimal as a big food corporate, right? As our first big corporate on PulseChain. Then they also start investing. That brings on a whole ton of euros onto PulseChain via USDC typically onto the chain, and that floods the chain with USDC. And of course, as we talked about, USDC is probably going to be the primary beneficiary from the Genius Act, right? Because of the treasuries and the boom that we're expecting. And of course, Scott Besant, they're talking about $2 trillion worth of treasury boom there. And of course, that would Ethereum be primary beneficiary there. So pretty huge. Pretty exciting about that. There's probably a few more things I could say about this list, but things are heading in the right direction. That money flow from the private sector, it's going to be really boom time. Now, the other thing, of course, we've had the Hex Investment Trust. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So now that the SEC is going to be defeated from today, pretty much. So tomorrow we'll be starting fresh. What will happen with the Hex Trust? Will they eventually be, because they'll have no hassles, they'll be able to get that listed? Will they be able to reach their marks? I think their mark was $10 million or something. So will they be able to meet that? And there was also a hold account, I think 500 holders or something. Whatever that was, will they be able to then get that moving again? And of course, end up getting listed on NASDAQ. So could the Hex Investment Trust end up getting listed on NASDAQ? And then, therefore, if they do that, can they not do a Richard Hart PulseChain one and a PulseX one? Maybe even something like that. So we could have that all trading on NASDAQ. That will allow all the companies that it can trade on NASDAQ. That's pretty much opening up to the rest of the world to trade on PulseChain. So this is a potential roadmap that we could see. So we got a roadmap potentially from Richard Hart, depending on where along that spectrum you think Richard Hart sits. And then we've got this roadmap with the private sector on PulseChain, with Sun Minimal, potentially Hex Investment Trust, opening up markets to investment firms and NASDAQ. It's just woohoo! So we'll keep a little lookout on that, guys. And of course, we're right now at that moment at the footstools of the biggest economic boom, the golden age of America, and of course, the big ramp up and crypto. September, those interest rate cuts could be absolutely awesome for the market. They happen, and that altcoin season is probably pretty much guaranteed by then. And of course, that also fits in with the 4-year cycle. You're still holding on to that, and it could be absolutely game on, which is probably why we should head over to Raoul Pal to finish the show. But man, you got to get excited. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We have just, I've just blown up this studio that I'm in, so to speak. So it's pretty pretty. All right, what else there? The video played played both audios. Is that what it did? Oh, because I had the other one in the background. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I apologize. RH sounded like Raoul Pal. Lols is Brennan. Yes, apologize. It's almost time for us. Delayed gratification. That's true. Yeah, I probably got both of them in the studio there. So let me just set that up, and we're going to play out Raoul Pal's video at the moment on the other side. So let me just hide the video first. Yeah, I had Raoul Pal running in the background, but we'll get there in a minute. All right, so let's bring that in. And I've got to add my face back in there somehow. By popular demand, they say. Popular demand. All right, so jokes aside, this is the last part of the show, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow, hit the subscribe button, share the channel around. Daily live shows. It's awesome. Was it 8 p.m. Eastern, is it? So, yeah, pretty cool. Midday New Zealand time, 10 o'clock a.m. in Australia. And so, yeah, I really look forward to this. Get excited. I just laid out massive potentialities on PulseChain. And I think we're going to go from potentialities into actualities. We already saw Richard Hart move multiple times earlier this year, setting us up for this move. We will be the PulseChain, PulseX, Hex will be truly free. Richard Hart will be truly free by the end of tomorrow, Monday. And of course, we are assessing that we will have no issues from. There will be nothing new from the SEC, given the pro-crypto stance of the Trump administration. So fingers crossed that all plays out, and the markets are rolling ahead of that. So bring it on. That's all I can say. And maybe we will get that God mode candle. All right, take care, everybody. I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. Until then, hope you enjoyed the show, and see you all again soon. I had a woohoo! Yeah, that's for sure. You did. Crowd goes wild. Yeah. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next show. Bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020. 2021, off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats, don't fuck this up, don't lose control of your tokens, don't use leverage, don't get your wallet hacked, just sit with it, be careful, don't get FOMO, do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of corrections. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens will have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.